Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to share an excellent drill that helps players to maintain space between their body and the ball through backswing. It gives a great sense of the control we want through our hips, and at the top you'll often find that you're in a much better position when doing this drill to transition and get into a good impact position. Thanks once again for joining me. We're getting to that time of the year now where we're ramping up to the start of the season, and we want to be working on our movement patterns that will help us to be successful with our ball striking in 2025. Today I wanted to focus on pelvis movement because it's very evidently one of the segments of the body that if we move well with our pelvis, it's going to very much help with the club delivery. Often I've referenced how the movement of the pelvis has a big influence on the path of the club, also the low point, and just the elite hip movement, how that very much has an influence or can be very much tied to control of the club face. So today I wanted to start off with pelvis movement, and one of the most common mistakes I see from a pelvis movement standpoint is that early in the backswing it will move towards the ball. So the imaginary wall that we discuss so often in the golf swing behind us there, we come off that very early in the backswing. So today's little drill that I want to share with you is one of my favorites. You almost can't do it wrong. It gives a great sense of the movement in the hips. So all you're going to need for this exercise is a mini band. Now I've got a mini band that's a very heavy intensity for this exercise because I really want to get a good sensation of the movement and how it feels in my hips. So I'm just going to put the mini band on, and I'm going to put this mini band on quite high, so it's going to be close to my hips, and I'm going to go in the middle of my upper leg, the middle of my femur there. Now if I get into sets up here to hit this shot, it's actually pulling quite a lot, pulling my legs in, so I have to maintain my knee position over my second to third toe in my foot there, and that really creates an engagement in my core and in my hip, almost in my hips already, those postural muscles that help to maintain the forward bend that we're in. It gets them fired up already, so I'm using the muscles that I want to be using even in my setup. So from here, as I move through backswing, it would be very evident if I went this way. I'd really feel it even more in my toe. I'd feel the movement of the band. So it's just great feedback. So when I move through my backswing to the top here, and I just hold that position, it feels very, very different. The load into this hip and how you move around your lead hip for many players. Okay, so that is the exercise there. So I would start off putting it high up there and then just making some swings. And if you're indoors, simply club across your chest there would be fantastic for it. But very evident as well, I want to be aware of the distance between your belt buckle and the ball. Often when you'll see players move towards the ball through backswing, their lead knee will get out in front of their lead toe. When doing this exercise, very, very different sensation. That knee doesn't get out in front of the toe. So great exercise there just to do away from the golf course or at the golf course when you're training. If you are able to hit, really good one to do with just short swings, pitches. So I prefer with this exercise just to kind of get up sets up there and just kind of pitch a few. It's going to feel very different there. So there we go. Little clean on that one there. I mean, that kind of connects with if I was to feel further away from the ball, that's the contact I'm likely to get. So getting in here, and you can even, once you're here, if you feel in a different position, if it feels as though, okay, I'm further away from the ball, just rehearse down into impact. Just to get a sense of how you'd move down. Take your time, because if you're in a different spot, you're gonna have to learn how to even hit these little ones with that new movement pattern. So if you're losing space, or if you just want to work on improving your movement right through your hips with the pelvis, great little exercise here that you can use away from the golf course or at the golf course.